That's Bill.
And that's Will.
And today we are talking the Rockets. The Rockets in space. I know you love this one.
I'm all things Houston.
Looking at the Houston Rockets record, looking at their opponents and their schedule, what do you see?
One and done. One and done for my Houston Rockets. That style of play is not going to work. But I will say this about that style of play. I can see the league drifting that way. The big man that I know, that I knew when I was growing up, Patrick Ewing, Akeem Olajuwon, Jabbar, those days going away. So I can see that the Houston Rockets are pioneers in this new style of play, the little man, 6'8", 6'9" guys. I can see that coming. But I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it.
No, I'm not with him at all.
One and done.
I'm not with him at all. I think the Houston Rockets, they're going to creep up and get it at least the third spot for sure, if not the second spot.
In the West?
In the West.
They're gonna leapfrog Utah.
Yeah, they're going to leapfrog everybody. They're beating the.
They're gonna leapfrog Denver.
They're going to leapfrog everybody. Gibson, they're the best team right now. They have a way to play, and they're playing, and they're big time right now. Russ has found himself again. He said, forget the threes, I'm going all layups. He makes the most points in the paint. You would think the Greek Freak does, but he makes the most points in the paint. And James Harden on the outside, you know what he does from the three. Man, these guys are really, really amazing right now. They just played the Jazz, and I watched the Stifle Tower. Rudy Gobert try to guard Westbrook, and Westbrook had 41 points.
I don't even know why Rudy Gobert's trying to guard Westbrook.
Because he has no one else to guard. He has to guard somebody on the floor, Gibbs. I think, like you said, they are pioneers of something that's going to be the future of basketball. To me, the big man had no business in the NBA. If you really wanted to be honest with you, it was just the evolution of basketball. The older big man, they didn't want to be better than what they were. There's no rules that say, hey, big man, you can't bring the ball down the floor. Hey, big man, you can't shoot threes. Hey, big man, you can't run pick and rolls. There's no rules that say any of this. So for me, the big man should be out of basketball if they're not like a Jokic. If they don't know how to dribble, pass, or shoot, if they don't know how to do these things, they should be out of basketball because it's at a detriment of basketball. The European big mans come over here and dominate because they can dribble, pass, and shoot, and they know how to. They know how to do more than just shoot a jump hook and dunk the basketball. It's just the honest truth of it all. There's nothing that say you can't do. Why couldn't Shaq shoot a free throw? Why couldn't Shaq shoot a 15-foot jump shot? Because he didn't work on it. He didn't want to work on it.
Oh my goodness.
It's the truth. Tell me.
Okay, listen. Shaq couldn't shoot a free throw because his hands were the size of a tennis racket.
Kawhi Leonard's hands as big as Shaq, and he shoots great free
And
throws. That doesn't say nothing to me. You're saying but Shaq.
have you ever tried to shoot a tennis ball into a basket?
I'm pretty sure I can get it. I can get it in there 80% of the time if I.
80% of the
If
time.
I did it over and over and over again.
I will admit that Shaq didn't put in the effort that he should have put into shooting free throws, but he did have a problem shooting free throws. But this guy's in the league now shooting 60%, and he got small hands.
Because they don't work at it.
The reason the Europeans came over here and dominated in the NBA is because they don't play basketball over there. They just having fun.
They play basketball.
They just having fun, man. They don't have no kind of rules and regulations. It's just guys playing basketball out in the backyard. And so they
Stop.
went to some league, they got in the league
Stop.
over there, and they
Stop.
ended up over here playing professional basketball. And you know why they ended up over here playing professional basketball? Because Americans, blacks, are greedy. Give me the money. I can go get somebody else from over there to do just what you're doing for less money. And that's exactly what happened.
No, Gibbs, out the womb. Me, I was 6'1", I was the tallest person in my class. What they tell me to go do, play the center. And they teach you how to do the center moves. They don't teach you how to dribble past.
Because that's what Nate Smith came up with.
That's what Nate Smith came up at the beginning. Evolution of basketball. No one says you can't. It's the most unique sport. Everybody can do the same stuff. So now, yeah, it's right.
We still playing football the way we played it way back at Super Bowl I.
No, we're not.
It's the same thing.
No, we're not.
You got a center,
Jesus Christ,
you got
we're
two
not.
guards, you got two tackles, you got a tight end, two receivers, a running back, and a quarterback.
It's not the same
It's the
game.
same thing. We haven't evolved into something else.
Gibson,
Now the offensive schemes have evolved, the defensive schemes have evolved, but it's the same game.
It's not the same.
This right here that the Houston Rockets are playing, this is a pickup game.
No,
It's not the
just
center.
Positionless
It's not a
basketball.
center. It's not a center. There's not a forward.
What is a
There's
center?
no shooting
What
guards.
is the center, Gibbs?
It's none of that stuff.
What does
It's
the
just
center mean?
5 guys out there running and gunning, blowing and going.
Man, basketball.
It's no kind of
Basketball.
rhyme or reason, no scheme, no nothing.
It is a scheme to it, Gibbs. It's everybody on the floor you have to guard now. From the 3-point line. We don't care about having nobody in the middle anymore. Nobody wants to sit there and have somebody shoot jump hooks all game.
And I can see D'Antoni coming up with this because he's the worst coach in the NBA. He's the worst coach. He doesn't even want to coach. All he wants to do is blow and go. And it hasn't worked for him. I don't know why he keeps doing the same thing over and over. It's not working. And this garbage he brought out here is not going to work.
Well, I know they're going to make it. They're going to win the first round for sure. Second
One
round is
and
going to be
done.
difficult because they might have to play at Lakers or the Clippers. But they're definitely not going to be one and done. They're going to be a top 3, top 4 seed, so that means they're going to have home court advantage, and they're going to play somebody like Portland or maybe the Mavericks and beat them. So with him one and done, he's just excited. Don't worry about him, folks.